Hello, everyone. This is your girl, Erica Wilson, the host of the Had to Happen show. You knew that you had to turn to God because He's the only one that could get you out.
Such a blessing to be able to sit with you, son.
You know, like in the isolation, sometimes we feel lonely or not being able to fit in, or this person is not going to bother with me or whatever. But that is the time when God says, "Be still."
Right.
And know that I am God. There you go. Thank you, Jesus.
I'm a single mom with 2 kids, struggling, rape victim, homeless, robbed at gunpoint. All those things had to happen to me to birth me for my purpose today. And that's why I'm standing here today giving back.
We knew then that we was on a long road to recovery. But I say that to say this. It had to happen.
Great day, great day, great day, everyone. We're here live today with your girl, Erica Wilson, at It Had to Happen. Guys, we're on season 4, episode 10. And our topic for today is Find Your Purpose, Then Find Me, featuring the beautiful Candace Waters. Listen, how many of you would like for your mate to find their purpose before they find you? When I saw her shirt and her business that she has, it literally blew my mind. So Candace, I have to bring you on right now because let me tell you something. That topic right there stands out. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came up with that topic. So welcome, Queen.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. So my name is Candace. I'm a content creator. I'm a whole bunch of different things, but we'll go straight into how I came up with that shirt. So, are you married?
I'm not.
Okay. Well, I like to tell people dating in this generation is like the Hunger Games, okay? Like may the odds be forever in your favor. And you know, as I'm 30 years old, and so I'm not married, and so I was dating, because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to date in order to get married. And so a lot of the people that I was dating, a lot of the men, like I was going on dates or whatever. I noticed that they may have had a job and they may have had the degree. It was like, a checklist, but they didn't know what they were purposed to do. And so when you don't understand the use of something, you misuse it. And so when I turned like 25, 26, I started walking into my purpose. And, I realized I was like, I don't really need I need a soulmate. Yeah, but I need a purpose mate. So you got to find what your purpose to do, then come find me. Cause it's not going to work. Like if you don't know what your purpose to do, but I know what I'm purposed to do, the two of us aren't going to agree. Therefore it's not going to work. And so the shirt was literally birthed out of that, like find purpose, then find me. And
wow,
my friends were like, oh, that's actually really good. I was like, because think about it. I was like, you're dating this man and he's great, whatever, fine. He's got, he looks nice, but does he know what he's supposed to do? I was like, does he know who he is? Because, a lot of us, especially I grew up in church. My parents are pastors. My granddad, my grandma are bishops. It's like, if you look at my family tree, it's like the archbishops, like we are the church. Okay. And so, the whole entire, like, as I grew up, you're always taught, you want to make sure you're equally yoked. Right. And so equally yoked to most people is just salvation. Like, we just have to be saved. Absolutely not. Equally yoked is not just being saved. It's like, can they match your purpose? Can they handle the assignment that's on your life? And so if they don't know what they're assigned to do, how can they handle your assignment if they don't know? So that's kind of how it came about, actually.
That is so awesome. But I want to challenge you because I want to ask you this. I know you're not supposed to be unequally yoked. I do know that. But what happens if that person is your assignment?
See, and that's I'm a little torn because I'm like, I don't think you should date with the intention of somebody being an assignment. I don't actually believe in like evangelical dating. Like, I don't want to lead you, because in my sense, in the way a man's supposed to lead me, right? Like, I'm not a lion. Never, like, a lion is not supposed to chase the lion. The lion does the chasing, right? So you're supposed to lead me. So if I have to lead you to the well to drink, am I going to be leading you the whole entire time? So when it comes to dating, I'm always like, I don't really know about evangelical dating. Like, I personally know that when I date, right? And I personally know, like, when I date, one of the things that I look for is, like, the first thing we talk about is the relationship with God, because it's important to me. It's like, look, are you saved? Like, when I say saved, like, does Jesus know you on a first name basis, or do you just say, hey, when you're around the block? Like, what is it, And when I see that they're not saved, or it's like, oh yeah, I kind of have a relationship, but we don't really, it's like, okay, well, we're not in the same place. So I don't even entertain it, if that makes sense. For me personally, just because I know what I carry. I know that what I do, what my life holds, has so much value that I can't not connect to the right people, because who you choose to do life with will determine which way your life goes.
Okay, I totally get that too. But who's to say that God told you to date this person? Maybe God sent him to you on assignment. You see, that's one of the things that we do. We think that we're supposed to be dating people, and sometimes God brings people in our path for them to be an assignment for us, to shed light for them. Because how can we save a saved world? You understand? We have to go back and reach out, and we have to meet people where they're at. And
I mean, I agree
often,
with that too. I agree with that. But I think you have to pray. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. I get it.
But I think you have to pray heavy on the prayer. Like, when I meet anybody, I go to God and I'm like, is this it? If this is not it, you can shut it down. And then that's fine. But heavy on the prayer, because I think when we date, we don't really pray until, like, we already have feelings for them. And by then you're so emotionally equipped and you're so emotionally adapted that by this point, it's like, well, what was the purpose of even praying? Because now you're upset because you didn't get what you wanted. So if I feel like if God tells you to do anything, first obey, period. Like, if God tells you to do anything, obey. Like, don't ask questions, just obey. The obedience will make sense later. Like, I tell people that all the time. If God tells you to do it, don't wonder about what anybody else tells you to do. Like, if it doesn't look good to people, God told you to do that, and you know God's voice, run with it. But if God didn't tell me to do that, no, I'd be like, no, I can't, I can't do that one. I God bless you. Like, we can be friends, but if God didn't tell me, no. But I do think God does handle. I think sometimes God puts people in our life as assignments. I believe that. Absolutely.
Yes,
I believe that. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Sometimes we as women, especially, okay, let's speak about the single women, like you and I. Okay, maybe some of us have been single for so long, right? And God sends this. Well, we can't always say that God sent them, because we know the enemy know what we like as well.
Yeah,
okay?
absolutely.
So this man comes along, this hunk of a man comes along, right? And what if that woman is not spiritually inclined? What words of encouragement will you give to her as far as this man that comes along? Because we all know that the enemy can send just what we like. And mean us no good.
I think that's so hard, though, because if you're not spiritually inclined, right? It's hard, because it's like, all right, well, are you going with a checklist? Like if you don't have any spiritual inclination, like, at all, I think the only piece of advice that I would give, or I would ask, is, what is he leading you to do? Start there. What is he pushing you to? Because the right man will push you in the right things, right? So
Right.
I guess my first thing is like, well, what's he pushing you to do? Like when you are with him, right? Are you better or are you worse? Because if you're better,
Come on.
let's start there. Like if you're better, if you're genuinely better, then
Mhm.
okay, maybe. All right. But if he's pushing you or derailing you, specifically derailing you, then sis, you need to run like far away. So I would start there because everybody doesn't have discernment. They don't.
Right.
And I know
Right.
everybody we grew up in church, you gotta have discernment. But the thing is, everybody doesn't have discernment. And as much
They
as they
do.
pray for discernment, sometimes
Mhm.
people want what they want and they don't listen to God anyways.
Right.
So if first things first is what are they pushing you to do? Because a man leads, that's his natural thing. A man is a leader. The question is, where are you being led to?
That's
So
good.
I would first
That's
start
good.
looking at like, well, where is he leading me to do? Like, does this man encourage me to read? Is he encourage me to think? Is he encourage me to try different things? Or is it specifically like every time I come around him, I don't feel like I'm supposed to be doing something? Then go with that feeling. And then after that, you can start asking some more questions. First thing is like, where is he leading you to? And also like, do y'all have the same goals? Because like a lot of women want to be married, but you need to ask the man, does he want to be married? Like I have to ask my friends that all the time. I'm like, a lot of us want to be married, but I've never heard you open your mouth and say you want to be married. Is that a desire of yours? And they're like, oh yeah, I mean, I guess it's implied. Don't imply, use your words. So I
Right.
think that needs to be something, but I would first start with like, where's he leading me to? Because that's imperative. Like you can't just follow anything. Like you know what I'm saying? You submit, which means like you're sub to the mission, meaning you guys have to align to one mission. Well, where's he leading you to first? What's his mission? Does he know what he's supposed to do?
Girl, I love you. Yeah, I mean, trust me, I totally get it. But see, you grew up in church. I didn't. I didn't
Ah,
find Christ to my late 20s, early 30s.
ah,
So we need to speak to that person because this is what I believe in. Our light need to shine so we can, win souls for God.
yep.
But we don't want to that woman that may not know Christ yet, or maybe a babe in Christ. I want to speak to her. You know what
Mm,
I'm saying? Because
yeah.
you can speak to her. Oh Jesus! One thing we know, I thank you, Holy Ghost, because one thing we know is some of us Christians could be very hard
Mm-hmm.
on each other. We know that to be
Absolutely.
true. So what I want to do, because I'm loving what you're saying, I'm loving that message. Find your purpose, then find me. I'm loving the man leading, the submitting, and everything like that. But speak to that woman that's a babe in Christ or don't even know Christ.
Okay.
Speak to her from your
Okay.
point of view.
So let's go to like young me, because even though I grew up in church, I had to unlearn church things because some of the stuff that they teach isn't all, some of the things that I was taught, I had to go back and learn. And also me being young. So I think let's go back to 21-year-old me. First things first. When
Mm-hmm.
looking or when thinking about dating, I don't want to say write a list because a list could leave you single, but kind of have a general idea of what you think you'd like. Like get some
Mm.
examples of people of healthy relationships that you think are nice. Does that make sense? Like,
Yes.
for example, I knew I wanted to be married, right? So that's a goal of mine. That's a heart desire of mine.
Mm-hmm.
So I look at marriages that I think are successful. So maybe get some images of things that you think are successful. Get
That's
some
good.
images of relationships that you find healthy. Okay.
That's good.
And then not mirror yourself because you're never going to be exactly like them. Their relationship is theirs. Let yours be yours. But
Right.
okay, so maybe start looking at those things. All right. So what does she do to be a wife? What qualities does she have, or what qualities does he have? And not make a list, but kind of like, well, you need a vision for it. Honestly, you need a vision for your
Mm-hmm.
relationships too. You need a vision for
Yeah.
everything that you're doing. You need a vision for your relationship. So maybe write that out, right? And then when you meet a guy, don't do it as a checklist, right? And don't date off the
Mm-hmm.
potential of him, please, because that will leave you heartbroken. A lot of us have the potential to be a
Mm.
lot of things, right? But look at what's shown in front of you. Is the person that is in front of you, like if he never grows into being whatever, is this enough for you?
Mm.
Because if it's not enough for you, like if that's genuinely not enough, then step back. But I think so many times I can admit that I like guys and I'm like, oh, he has the potential to be great. And then because I like his potential, I'm like, I'm gonna just stick with him because he's gonna be so great. And then like some months later, he's still in the same place. And it's like, yeah, was what presented to you enough? Because if that's not enough, then you need to go find what is enough for you. Also, I think you should be attracted to the person that you're dating. So do you like them physically? Like the whole narrative of like they have a good heart is great, but listen, you got to look at this man for the rest of your life. That good heart gonna get old. Is he cute? Like, I'm just being honest. Like, I know that sounds really superficial, and I love church people, but they be like, it's on the inside. That no, stop that. Because when I wake up in the morning, when I roll over, I'm not looking at his heart. I'm not looking
Candace,
at.
I'm not messing with you.
I'm not looking at his heart. I'm looking at his face. What's his face look like? Do I like his face? Does his face look good with my face? There's a possibility we could have kids. I look good, so we got 50% of the chance that the kid looks like me. What's the other 50% looking like? Chewbacca? Like, these are things that you have to be honest about. So is he physically appealing to you? Okay, because character, and then also character. The character does matter. It does. Character does matter. And I think in this generation, we skip over character. We skip over character. And the crazy thing about it is the reason why we skip over character is because we haven't developed our own character.
Come on.
The reason why so many of us get into these relationships and they fail is because we keep thinking like we need a man to complete us. But first of all, you need to be 100% whole. It's not two halves and two halves make a whole. Absolutely not. In order for a relationship to work, you must be whole. So like a man is not my foundation. He's just a perk. I was complete before I met him.
Come on.
So it's like whether you leave, whether you stay, my value does not depreciate. Let's be very clear. Like the value of who I am as an individual, completely whole. Like whether you stay, go, whatever, I'm completely whole. I am perfect and equipped and I have peace right where I am. And so my generation, I think, failed because we're incomplete. We don't even know what we like. We allow social media to tell us, develop you first. Develop you. Find what makes you happy. Find what God positioned you to do. The more positioned you are and what God tells you to do, the easier it is to figure out what's a distraction and what isn't. So that's what I would honestly tell somebody, like, work on yourself. Be so fulfilled in yourself that whether somebody comes along or not, you're good. Like, make sure your foundation is set first.
Man, you're speaking. Let me tell you, Queen, you're speaking. But oh my God. And it's so, I mean, everything that you said, I'm loving it and I'm feeling it wholeheartedly. Because the thing about it is a lot of times we want to be wise, but don't know how to be wise. You want to put all these mandates on the man, but what are you bringing to the table as a woman? Do you know who you are? Do you know your purpose? You understand? Do you know your worth? First of all,
that one is the biggest.
Do you know your worth? But the number one question is, do you know God? You know, that's the number one question. But do you know your worth? I have one of my businesses is a Beauty So Rare, right? It says know your worth, then add tax to it.
And interest in shipping and handling. Add it.
Come on. That's it.
Add interest and shipping and handling. Don't miss out on the interest and the shipping and handling. Seriously.
I know that's right. Oh, I'm loving this. Guys, we're here live today and It Had to Happen with the girl, Erica Wilson. I have the beautiful Candace Waters. She says, find your purpose, then find me. Oh, my goodness. Let me tell you, one of my cousins, she's on here. She said, you better speak, sister.
Thank you, cousin. Thank you.
Yes. But take us back to your younger days, right? Okay. Because we know that we hear who you are now. But, okay, this is what I like to do. Was there ever a time, we're going to go off a relationship now, okay? Was there ever a time where you had to just fall to your knees when it came to a relationship and say, Lord, you just got to take control? Or was it like a heartbreak that you just didn't know how you was going to shake it off?
Oh, yeah. So what's so funny is I talk to my friends about this all the time because I was like, why you let me be so stupid? Why would you let me be so dumb? So here's a little backstory so you can understand why it makes sense. So my whole entire life, The woman that you're looking at now really didn't exist. She just formed, not overnight, but she formed. So I am a military kid, right? And so my whole entire life, I was obese. Okay. I was bigger and I lived in a military environment. And so there wasn't a lot of people who were my size. Military lifestyle, it's predominantly white. Everybody's skinny. And so like I lived in Japan and, you know, I had guys that I liked. And then when I got in high school, I was bigger. I had guys that I liked. They were afraid to like me because I was bigger. You know what I'm saying? Like also my personality is like, I don't want to say I'm one of the fellas, but like my personality is like, so, you know, whatever. Like I just like I hang around guys. It's just cool. So when I got to college, I went to a historically Black college. And so I had moved straight from Europe over there. So I had a culture shock. And so like I wasn't used to seeing all these Black people. I loved it. My mom will tell you stories. She'll be like, girl, I dropped you off one way and you came back with a whole dashiki on your head. So when I went to college, right, my focus was to just get a degree. Like that was the focus. And I met this guy my sophomore year, and I tell people all the time, right, I don't think I was in love with him. I think I was in love with the idea that he loved me for who I was, because I wasn't comfortable in my skin because I was bigger. So I didn't have like any real relationships in high school and middle school. None of that counted. So in college, they tell you go to college and you find your husband. And so I got this mindset, like I'm definitely supposed to be married. Okay. And I'm like 17 or 18 at this time. Like, girl, what do you know about being married at 18? Right. And so I meet this guy and we met because he was doing like work with one of my suite mates. So we met. And he honestly wasn't my type. And this is why I say attraction matters. He wasn't my type, but he was nice. He was nice. He was nice. Like he liked me. I was big. Big girls was his thing. It was cool, you know? And what was so crazy is he liked me and I was everything that he wanted in a woman, but he would always tell me like, I can never be like your dad, right? So I don't think I'm good enough. I should have listened then, like an idiot. I should have listened then. Like a man gonna tell you what it is now. Like, look, this ain't it. Bet I'm out. Like now, if you tell me, oh, God bless you, may the Lord watch me. But like back then, it was like you were the one person who like it was like a safe space. Like I could be whoever I wanted to be. He liked me for who I was. And so my sophomore year, we started talking. And if you ask any of my friends, I try to tell people all the time, I'd be like, I dated him because I was fat and had low self-esteem. Like that's my thing and I'm sticking to it. But from my sophomore year at the age of 18 until the age of 25, we did this dance. It took a long time. It was like so we were talking and we never officially dated, but it was kind of like, that's what it is. You know what I mean? Like that he know what it is. I know what it is. Don't nobody else need to know as long as we know. And so what actually ended up happening is my junior year that summer, I had stayed. I actually made a YouTube video about this. I stayed at college for a summer session and he was there. And we just weren't vibing the way we normally were because we were like best friends too. Like there was nothing we could hide from each other. Like we were inseparable. And I remember going with one of my friends to see him because I'm leaving soon. I'm gonna go to Florida to see my parents. So I'm like, I'm not about to see you. Like let's hang out or whatever. So he was acting really weird. Like I mean, it looked like I was just one of the homeboys on the street. Like he saw me and he head nodded me, and I was devastated. I was like, wait a minute. Do you know who I am? Like, do you know, like you gotta be, is it crack that you smoke? Like, what are you doing? So he head nods me and I see this girl and I point at my best friend and I said, he is sleeping with her. Like, I don't care what you say, something going on. My friend's like, he would never do that to you. Da, 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 da. So we ended up hanging out. I go home, not even 3 days after I get home, our mutual friend calls us and she's like, have you heard from your boy? I said, I talked to him last night. What's going on? He says, yeah, the girl he's dating, him and her got into an altercation. I didn't hear nothing, but he's dating. That's all I heard. I said, he's dating? Like, she's like, yeah, they've been together for some months. Pause. And so I'm like, okay. So She's like, you didn't know? I said, no, because for the past few months, me and him been hanging out. So I didn't know he was dating somebody. I thought we were together. You know, that's my mindset. So the girl ends up, so my mutual friend, I said, can you put me in contact with her? She said, yeah. I said, great. So me and the girl end up
No
talking.
way.
And I said,
No
oh yeah,
way.
this is what I'm saying. Like mentally not there as a young adult trying to do grown people things. I had no business worry about him and whatever. I need to be getting a degree, focus on what I was doing. But I was so focused on trying to be this girl and be his only one. Girl, worry about your schoolwork. That's not what we're here for. So I end up getting the girl's number. We ended up calling each other. She trying to be besties. I'm like, girl, you the side chick, but maybe I was a side chick because like I didn't know. So we ended up talking on the phone and we ended up three-waying him in. And I remember like after me and her hung up, I literally I didn't beg him, but I was like, what was wrong with me? And it was at that moment I knew I needed mental help. I was like, girl, did you just ask this man what's wrong? I said, why didn't you pick me? I was like, what was wrong with me that you couldn't pick me? And so what I realized was I was waiting on him to make me feel valuable. Like I needed him to validate who I was, basically.
Right.
And he did it so well. And so I graduated from college. When I tell you we did this dance for the longest, it took until we met when I was 18. We stopped talking when I was 25. 25. We did this dance where we wouldn't talk. So I was a year behind him. So he graduated and then he came back my senior year and he came to my room and we just looked at each other and it was like, nobody know what to say. Cause it's like, what do you say? Like, of course he apologized, but it's like, what do you want me to say? So when I moved to New Orleans and I was finally on my own, we did this dance. It was the most toxic thing I have ever done in my life. I was trying to figure out who I was because at 21, you don't really know who you are and you have labels of who people think you should be. And so you're trying to fit into these boxes, but I'm trying to find out first of all, I'm trying to figure out my own spirituality because first of all, I realized my faith wasn't my own. I had mama and daddy faith and now I'm living out here by myself in this state where nobody is. So now I got to learn Jesus for myself. Okay.
That's it.
So I'm trying to learn Jesus for myself. I'm managing being an adult and that sucks. Like 0 stars, would not recommend. I don't know why anybody wants to be an adult. And so trying to navigate that. And once again, he was comfort for me. So when I moved out there, we would talk it was so bad. Every 3 months, he would just randomly appear. It was like he had a meter on me every 3 months. The only reason we stopped talking, believe it or not, was he got a girlfriend. I think that was a gift from God. He got a girlfriend and I ended up talking to somebody else and we actually saw each other at homecoming and it was so platonic. It was platonic. I saw him. I said, hey, he said, hey. His girlfriend looked like she wanted to beat me up. And I was like, sis, I already had these problems. He's yours. Take him. And, it felt so good to be free. I love being free from him. I tell people all the time, I don't think I ever loved him. I think I love the idea of being in love with him. And I love the idea of somebody loving me back in the state that I was in. I didn't have that. So to know somebody had liked me just with my weight and, everything that I had going on, I just liked that. And so, after him and that girl broke up, he actually reached out and I told him, hey, you don't have to do this. We don't need to do this anymore. And, after that, we haven't spoken. Now, what is so crazy is, what happened was I started doing social media and it kind of just blew up, right? So Mike Todd takes my video and now you're seeing me everywhere, right? And so of course everybody's so proud, yay! And here he comes. I'm like, dang, what in the world? And so he's like, he was a pastor's kid. He's like, I really started listening to Jesus and I started listening to Mike. I was like, dang, I can't even have my own pastor. I was like, first you take my life and ruin it from me and all these churches out here. And you mean to tell me you watch the same church I watch? We not about to bond over this. And so he has reached out for my 30th birthday. He sent me a text and it was I was like, thanks, God bless you, and kept moving. Because I'm free. But I also think I had to really, really find who I was and really, really learn every part of me and learn to love who I was. So, of course I'm not 331 pounds like I was before I lost 130 pounds over the pandemic. And so now I'm learning who she is. because I realized I had weight as a comfort too. So that was honestly the most difficult thing, like learning to be free from this idea. Because I think as a big woman, I don't know, I can't speak for all of us, but when you find somebody that loves you like in your bigness, you kind of hold on to that because it's not a lot of them. It's not really cool to like big girls until like Drake came out with a song talking about he likes big women. It was never a thing. And so when you found that, you held, no, seriously, like it was not cute. Like this wave that has happened recently where men like big women, back when I was growing up, that wasn't cute. That was not cute. Like you had to look a certain way. So when you found somebody who liked you with your weight, you held on to them. You made it work. No matter, they could have been smacking you upside your head. You just held on to them because you didn't know what you were, who you were. So that was honestly my hardest. I did that dance for 7 years and I'm glad I'm free. Thank God.
Oh my God. So that takes me back to what you said earlier. Excuse me. About sorry, excuse me. That takes me back to what you said about the man has to be appeasing to the eyes, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's important. That is so, like when I say that's important, like y'all can keep dating people off their character if you want to. But baby, 60 years later, that character's still gonna be good, but that nose gonna be chipped, them teeth gonna be chipped, they gonna be fat. Is you okay with how they look? Because that's imperative.
Okay, but the thing is, listen, I can't help it. The thing is now, you have to look at who the person is inside too.
Amen.
You want that person inside too, because he could be the nicest looking thing on the outside, but
You're
you
right.
hell to deal with. You know what I'm saying? So you're not going to get the whole package.
Yeah, but get close, girl. Get close. If you a 10, at least try to get a 7 now. Don't if you a 10, don't go get no 5. Because you know at the end of the day, you're gonna be tired of looking at a 5. But if you feel like you a 10, girl, go get you a 7. You can mold and shape a 7 now. All you gotta do is fix his outfit up. But no, I ain't gonna sit here and tell you like what's on the inside matters, absolutely. But I ain't gonna lie to you and say like what on the outside, it matters. It matters.
But
it
you
all
know
matters.
what though? Okay, say this, right? Something maybe he is, handsome for her.
As long as you think so. As long as you gotta be okay with you. I tell people all the time, you have to be okay with what you look at, because like, or what you're dating. Like I had to realize that too. You have to like we don't all
at you, Candace.
Listen, baby. Look, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm gonna be real honest with y'all. I don't play with no ugly men. I'll be like, look, now I'm about a 12. So you got to be at least an 8. Come on now, baby. I can work with an 8, but I'm not about to mess with no 2 now, because you ain't my family roast people. I'm not about to bring you to Thanksgiving dinner and they talking about us on the side. Girl, no.
Candace, you trying to choke me?
Really? Listen, my people is dangerous. I can't be putting you in the girls chat and they roast you and now no. And so, I do know that looks change and I do know that looks aren't everything, but character is important. And I do look at character. I do. I look at character because the way my dad and my mom and my dad have been married for 35 years. And the way my dad treats my mom is something that I not have to have, but the way my dad cares for my mom, like it's got to be there. Like the way my dad pours into my mom and vice versa, that's important to me. So yes, I joke and no, look do matter. It does. But also that character matters, how I'm treated. Do I feel supported? Do I have the environment to flourish, basically? Right. So yeah, that is important. That is.
That's good. That's really good, because that's so true what she just said. She says right now, but looks could change. Things happen beyond your control that can change the appearance.
True. You can get in a car accident. Yep.
Yeah. So my thing is, if his appearance change, are you gonna leave him?
No, but we gonna pray to God and ask for a nice plastic surgeon and see what we can do. Like there's resources. I'm not about to just sit here and like, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. Nah, honestly, I'm the type of person that I told you I play a lot. Actually, I'm the type of person that believe it or not, my love language is words of affirmation, which is really dangerous because I feel like people can talk a good game and sometimes I don't look at their actions. Right. But believe it or not, most of the people that I have dated are ugly. And I tell people I have done so much charity dating. Like I've done enough community service. Please be fine. But most of the men that I have dated have been not like, they're not like, like Michael B. Jordan. It wouldn't be like I put a bag, but they weren't attractive to the human eye. But to me, they were amazing because of their hearts. Like their hearts were so pure, and the way they treated me was so pure.
Yeah.
So honestly, if you looked at my roster, let's be very, very clear. I wasn't dating no Denzels or no Michael B. Jordan. They was a little hitch, you know, they were a little rough. So that's why I be asking God, can he be fine? Because I feel like I've done enough. I've done my time. Okay.
What do you call it? Charity dating?
Yes, I've done enough community service. I'm done. I'm tapped. And when I say community service, not just in looks either, like healing people.
Yeah,
I don't know how
definitely.
many men I have dated that I feel like I have equipped them to be the husbands they are, teaching them how to like love people. I tell people all the time, women are not rehabilitation centers. And I feel like
Right.
I have done so much of rehabilitation for some of these people that I'm like, no. So yeah.
But see, that's the area that God may be using you in. And that's what I was saying earlier. Sometimes we think we're supposed to be dating these people and they
Mm,
actually supposed to be an assignment. So really you should give yourself a pat on the back for doing
mm-mm.
that,
I feel like
and
a trauma
saving,
center.
but no, listen.
I feel like the ER, baby. They be coming in like gurneys.
But see, the thing is, it saved you. You didn't get
It
caught up
did.
in it.
No, it
You
did.
know?
It
Yeah,
did.
and that's a lot of times what people don't understand. Dating a broken man
Whew, never again. Would
is
have
gonna
recommended.
break you.
Yeah,
It's definitely
0
gonna break
stars.
you.
And I
Yeah.
think women need to understand just because they're broken, you are not obligated to fix them.
To
That's
fix
not your
them.
responsibility. You can only lead them to the well. You can't make them drink.
That's it.
And
That's
so
it.
oftentimes when we meet people, you also have to realize you're meeting people at different levels of their life. Okay.
Right.
We all weren't raised the same. That's what I'm actually learning now as an adult. Learning that there are some people, some men weren't raised in the type of love that I was raised in. And so they don't know how to reciprocate that. Like me and a guy were dating last year, right? And he didn't believe in marriage because his parents weren't married. Versus my whole entire family's been married for 35 years plus. So all I know is marriage. So he was like, I don't know if I want to be married. And I was like, okay, well, I do. So if we don't want the same things, like he was like, I know I want to have kids and I'm okay with co-parenting. I said, oh, no, I ain't okay with that. Now, wait a minute. And so, like we're just raised differently. And I think, and I was able to give him that grace. Like, I think, and actually didn't even end up working out. Like, I literally told him, I was like, you can go date somebody else. He was highly upset. He was offended. Like, he's like, what's wrong with me? It's got nothing to do with you, kind of a little bit, but we don't want the same things. And I'm not going to force you to be something that I want. I want you to be what you want. I want you to be with somebody who can reciprocate everything you want. That's important to you. You don't want to be married. You want to be a co-parent. That's important to you. I want to be married. That's important to me. I want somebody.
I'm sorry, but that goes back to being by the unequally yoked. That's the same thing as well. But Kimberly Harris just said people can't give you what they don't have.
Exactly.
Yeah, they cannot give you what they don't have, but at the same time too, don't waste. If you see that, don't waste your time sitting there trying to fix him or her because you cannot do it. There's no way possible we're able to fix anybody. That's God's job. But at the same time too, I agree wholeheartedly with that. People can't give you what they didn't have. And when you get into these relationships, I like to look at their stock, where they come from.
That's important.
Very important.
How were they raised?
Exactly.
How were they, like, literally, what do you come from? Yeah. Because if I can figure out the root, then I can start assigning where it came from. And so the more I got to learn about him, I was just like, oh, this ain't gonna work, baby. This ain't gonna work. Like you were raised not in love. And I don't know how to not give love. Like every time I would do something, it was always like, yeah, I feel like they hate on me. It's like, everybody ain't out to get you. You're not that important. Everybody not out to get you. But it's like, that's the way, the environment you have. And honestly, a lot of people aren't doing enough work on themselves and they're just getting into relationships. And what you don't understand is every time you get in a relationship and you're broken, you have now broken the next individual and nobody's healing. So we just walking around damaged, giving yourself to people. And so now you got damaged relationships because you didn't sit down and do the work to heal. And nobody thinks it's important to heal because they think healing means you must be lonely. But honestly, when you're healing, it's not lonely because you're getting to know yourself again. So
that's right. But a lot of women feel like they need a man. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Like the men
mhm,
make them complete, and that's not so.
mhm.
Like you said in the beginning, you have to be whole. You know,
Absolutely.
a man is a perk, you know. But I know one thing I know about men, they want to feel needed.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's fine. But at the same time, too, you have to know who you are and who you belong to before you step into this relationship because y'all gonna damage each other. Basically. So, like you say, take time to heal, sister or brother. Take time to heal. Don't jump from one relationship to another. And listen, it's in the most uncomfortable times where God is doing the best work.
I actually agree with that. I
Mm,
actually really agree with that.
yes.
I think nobody likes to sit in
No.
uncomfortability at all
Mm-mm.
because they don't
No.
know what's going on. But what I realized was it's in the uncomfortable spaces where they create some of the most beautiful things.
That's
Like, do you
oh.
think a butterfly, a worm is comfortable in a cocoon, squished up like that? It's not.
Right.
It's not. But what comes from it is beautiful. Do you think that
Yes.
when you plant an apple tree in the ground in the darkest seed soil, it is
That's
comfortable?
it.
It's not. It's not.
Yeah.
But when it
That's it.
finishes and it produces what it's meant to produce, it's like my generation alone, we don't like roots. I'm sorry. We don't like to sit and wait
Mm-mm.
for anything. And the more that this generation becomes faster with technology, the more we feel like everything must
Yes.
be quick. And I'm guilty of that sometimes. I'd be like, I can admit, like sometimes I meet a guy and I'd be like, you got a month. You better figure it out in a month. Cause I'd be like, cause sometimes it's like I need to figure out in a month, I can figure out if you want to waste my time or if you really have some intentions for me. But what I also
Mm.
realized was that's also me rushing it. Like sometimes
Yeah.
you're not gonna figure it out in a month. You're not.
Right. So
Sometimes
true.
it's gonna take 2 months, 3 months. But that's also why you have discernment, and that's also why you pray because God can be like, no, sis, that ain't it. Go ahead and roll over. Go ahead
That
and head out.
ain't it.
That ain't it.
So,
Go ahead and move around. And so I tell people all the time, like, because people ask me all the time, like, do you want to be married? I'm like, yeah, that's a desire of mine, but it's not the only desire. I was
yeah.
like, I'm gonna get married and what else? Like, that's it. My last name gonna change, and I'm gonna have somebody's kids, and that's the end of my life. What else? I was like, what else is there?
Right.
Like, I don't just want to be married with kids and now I'm his wife and child, we have a good life. No, I got a purpose. I got an
Right.
assignment. I got gifts and talents, baby.
Right.
You coming to me. What you got? What's the talents gonna go together so we can produce this big kingdom together, then have some kids. But people just it also doesn't help. I say this all the time. It also doesn't help that sometimes the church makes you feel like being single is a death sentence.
Yes. Yes.
So you got church girls who think like they hear their whole entire life at the age of 12, you're supposed to be married. And so like they feel like something's wrong with them. It's not a death sentence. Being single is great if you ask me, if you do it right.
Come
If
on.
you do singleness right, it's great.
Yeah.
There's no like you're getting the most opportune time to work on your dreams.
Oh,
There
yeah.
is
Yeah.
no reason there's no reason you should have not started on your dreams if you don't have any kids and you're single. Like, why haven't you started?
Mm-hmm. So true. Even if you have kids, you still,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? You still, because the thing is, you're supposed to lead by example. So if you're not dreaming, are your kids going to dream?
Are you exactly
Yeah.
like if you're
Yeah.
single, when you get with somebody, I feel like you should have an accomplishment of something.
Yeah.
What did you accomplish on your own? Because all he's supposed to do is make the accomplishment shine. He ain't the accomplishment. He just supposed to make it
Right.
shine. Like, so
Absolutely.
accomplish something on your own. So that's why when I have a lot of friends we're 30, I'm 30, but my friends are like 31, 32, 33. And a lot of them, as they get up in age, that desire to be married is very, 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 very strong. And they feel like, like, what's wrong with me? And I'm like, girl, what did you accomplish? Go back, stop.
Yeah, that too. But again, what are you doing to be that wife? Like,
And
are
why
you
do you
cleaning
want to
your
be
house
married?
like you're supposed? Yeah.
That's why do you want to be married?
Yeah.
Because you want to have sex and not go to hell. That's how you feel. Okay. Why do you want to be married? What is the marriage about for you? And when we have these conversations, a lot of them don't have an answer.
That's it. And
Yep.
too, our social media is playing big parts in this as well. Because
Mhm.
we're gonna dress it up and make it look good for social media, right?
But it's fake.
Just like the news. Do you hear good news? On the
No.
news
And
station?
social media is so fake. These people be talking about relationship goals. I'm like, she getting clocked upside her head when the door is closed. You don't see what's going on. You can't make, we don't know. We idolize things we have no idea about because we see 10 seconds of a highlight reel, but you didn't see the director's cut. They cut some stuff out. They polished it. They edited it to make it look good. But what you don't know is when they go home, they don't like each other. They don't talk. Their marriage is miserable. So be your own relationship goals.
That's so true. I'm gonna tell you what I found the other day. What is his name? Steven. What is his name? Steve. What is it?
Furtuck or Chandler?
No, Steven LOBOSS. I guess Labosia.
I've never heard of him.
Oh man, you need to look him up on Instagram. He says single and waiting is better than taking and faking.
Agreed.
Did you hear me what I say?
Agreed.
He said single and waiting is better than taking and faking.
Or taking and cheating or taking and not whole. I don't want to do none of that.
Yeah, I think like you said, like the woman that you say probably getting her head knocked up inside, she knocking her upside her head, but then here it is, she putting on social, and everybody's relationship goals. Yeah.
And I think people need to understand that waiting does not mean stagnant. People think you wait and you don't move, but waiting is movement. Like when you wait, you should be moving. Like if you're waiting in a line and it don't ever move, what you gonna do? Get out of line, right? The waiting line moves. The thing is, like somebody was like, I'm just waiting, and it's like you just gonna stand here and wait the whole time. What are you gonna do? Pop out of a closet?
So here is a good question right here, Candace. Right?
Okay.
You're single.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean that you have to date just one guy?
No. Sorry, I said that too fast.
No, because I want to know. I think I asked somebody else this question on the show as well. But if you're single, does that say that okay, I can only date this guy? I'm single. What about the men that's single and dating several women? So
date them all because you need to gather data. Dating is gathering data. I gotta figure out if I like you. I didn't say sleep with them. Please don't. But you need to go on dates to figure out if you like the person enough. You got to gather data. So you should take multiple dates. Now, if you guys have decided like this one person you're dating, if y'all have decided like, hey, we are going to only date each other, then no, you don't need to date nobody else. But if I just met you and I just met this guy, I don't see why I can't date you both.
Okay.
Because I need to gather information. I need to gather data to see which one I like more. Now, am I telling you to sleep with both of them? Absolutely not. But I'm gathering data on both to figure out, all right, according to the data that I have gathered, he's out. I like him. The thing is, I think sometimes people don't know how to date. They don't know how to date. Nobody taught you how to date. They taught you how to get married. Nobody teach you how to date, though. They just teach you like you just get married. But how do I date? Like, there's this guy named Stephen Chandler who I love. He's a pastor. He says dating is the only area you don't give grace. He said, you do not give grace in dating. You take it for what it is. He was like, so a lot of you guys start dating, and because we give grace. Now you look like Boo Boo the Fool because you gave grace over and over. Dating is the one area you don't have to give grace. So you can date and gather as much data as you want. Figure it out. But we were never taught how to date. We're taught how to be married and be wives and have babies, but we're not taught.
So true. So true. I'm glad that you said that, and I'm glad that the Holy Spirit allowed me to ask you that question, because that right there, I think that some people take that out of context. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you this because you dating this many people, or you that because you sweetheart.
No, but I think it's because like when you date, you're automatically giving your body to somebody. No. I can go on a date and not be touched. Do not touch me, sir.
Right.
So they think they automatically think because you have options, you're considered, fast and stuff. But it's like, if I don't date anybody else and all I know is you, we ain't got a lot to compare it to. So I think you're the best thing since sliced Wonder Bread. And now I didn't count up the cost, and now I'm stuck in this relationship that I hate. But if I dated to see what I liked, like, I don't really like, it's like, I don't really like men. Like for me, I realized I don't really like men who don't I'm like, oh yeah, I don't really like men who aren't chivalrous. I'm not used to that. I'm not used to that whole like holding my own door. That ain't for me. But I had to date and realize like, oh no, what you doing, bro? Why you didn't open my door? Oh, I don't do that. Oh, that ain't gonna work for me. I had to date to figure that out. Or I don't like men who I realized I like nerdy men. Like I don't like flashy men. I don't like to be I'm seen enough. Okay. I don't want to be seen. So like flashiness doesn't work for me. But the only way I figured out I didn't like flashiness was like I had to date somebody who's flashy. Like, oh, you do too much for me. I'm out.
So then I'm gonna blow your mind. I was on someone tagged me on something on Instagram, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this guy had to be in his 50s and had the nerve to say, women, when you go on a date after 5 o'clock, that means sex. Did you see that?
Yeah. Let me tell you something, baby. I can go
Can
on a
you
date
believe that?
I can go on a date at 3 p.m., 9 a.m., 2 p.m., 1 a.m. And if you think you're getting in between my legs, you're going to jail because I'm not about to.
But can you believe in his
because men think that they get to dictate what women get to do with their bodies. That's what that is. Like, oh, I'm automatically dating you. I'm taking you out past 7 o'clock. The sun's down, so you have to have sex with me, boy. Did hell freeze over? No, and that's the thing. They
after 5 o'clock. After 5 o'clock,
the sun don't go down till 6:30.
But Candace, she may be just getting off work.
Yeah, and that's why I tell people. That's why I tell people to go on breakfast dates. Go in the morning. Then what you gonna say? Go in the morning. I tell people to date in the morning. I tell people to go on breakfast dates because if you don't like it, you can always go have another date by yourself. Go to IHOP with him. And if you don't like him, baby, you just got breakfast. Now you got lunch and dinner you can go figure out on your own. When you go on dates at nighttime, by the time you get home, it's late, the day over. So now you got to vent to your friends about how terrible it was. Nah, bump that. Let's go to brunch at 9 a.m. Let's go to IHOP at 9 a.m. You can wear your pajamas. I don't care. Let's just go at 9 a.m. That way, if I don't like you, I'm going to enjoy these pancakes. I'm going to go home. I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do for lunch and dinner, but I got the rest of the day to myself.
Yeah, the rest of the day to figure it out, right?
Yeah, like I think people should go on breakfast dates. Like save all that nighttime stuff for when y'all actually like each other. If you just say, hey, can we go to breakfast? First of all, as an adult, you shouldn't be sleeping at 12. What you do? What you be doing is sleep till 12. Get up. So go for a breakfast date. See how it goes. Don't let them take you to the cereal bar, though.
Man, I tell you, I'm loving this woman here. Guys, we're here live today, and it had to happen with your girl, Erica Wilson. My cheeks hurting.
I told you I'm a clown. I'm sorry. I should have warned you. Like, hey, I'm a little goofy. I'm a little goofy, but I mean well. I do mean well. I mean, I do. I think like there's no perfect way to date. There's no perfect way to do life in general. I mean, we all have different methods. Figure out what's best for you and do that.
Yeah.
So like if dating, now here's the thing. Now, if you can't date like because you can't focus your attention on two different people, it's hard asking two men like, hey, how was your day? You be forgetting their names, birthdays. You just be like, I know I asked you how your day was, huh? No, that wasn't you. Oh my God, how was your day? So now you gotta make him feel like you didn't forget. So it is hard juggling multiple people. So if you're not able to juggle multiple people, you know what I'm saying? Because I suck. Like I'm terrible at it. I'm like, oh, I asked you that? Yeah, Candace, I told you my birthday. Oh, I don't remember. But I don't remember. I asked somebody else. So like if you know that you can't balance each other, that's fine. You can't balance, but give yourself options. Like until you are married, you are single. Have options.
That's it. Well, guys, we're here live today with your girl, Erica Wilson, and it had to happen. I have the beautiful Candace Waters. She says, find your purpose, then find me. So, Candace, I know we're right now at 5:24. I definitely want to bring you back for part 2 because I didn't jump into. Yes, I definitely want to bring you back. I didn't get to jump into the awesome, the content that you have out there is freaking amazing, so touching. I mean, you definitely are very anointed, and I love what you do with your content. But we don't have time. You're most welcome. We don't have time to speak about that, but I definitely want you to book again so we can do the part 2 to this, because as you can see, they're definitely loving you, and you definitely have great pointers to give out to the single women, you know. And then, like I said, we want to win those who just don't know, you know.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I would love to be back. I think you're funny. I like people who let me be me, you know, because sometimes you got to censor yourself. So I was glad you didn't censor me. Thank God.
No,
I'm so grateful. Like, that's honestly why I create content. I know a lot of people create it for likes and views, but I create it because I feel like, what's the purpose of having a voice if no one hears it? Like, you got to use, you know, like God gives you gifts and talents. And so I'd be selfish to hold it. It's like having the cure to cancer and letting somebody die. Like, you got the cure, you're sitting on it. So that makes me happy that the content is, you know, thank you. That makes me.
It really is. And that takes me back to it had to happen, because Candace, all the it's that happened in my life, the trials, the tribulations, the struggles, whatever it may have been, I had to go through that, you know, to birth me for my purpose today. And a lot of times people don't like to go through the it's. They just want the glory, but they don't want to go through the suffering, you know.
Yeah, you're right.
And like we said earlier, that it's in that uncomfortable space when God is doing the most. I'm talking about the most.
Yeah,
you know?
and really,
So,
when it's over, you're like, ooh,
yes.
that's me. That's me, God. You took your time, God. You took your time.
So yeah, so if one want to follow you or get in contact with you, please let us know how we can do so.
Oh yeah, okay. So my handles are the same across the board. So my Instagram is C_international. My Twitter is the same. My TikTok is the same. And I have a YouTube channel. It's called Candace's Corner. All of it's right there. So I'm pretty responsive. Like, honestly, I talk to everybody. So yeah, that's how you can find me. I'm on every social media site, every social media platform. You name it, I got it. And YouTube as well. So that's pretty much it.
My God. Well, congratulations, Queen. I love exactly what you're doing. But as you can see, I have the beautiful Candace Waters here. She dropped so many jewels for you guys on today. She will be back for a part 2. But listen, if you can, go over and support her. She has her own YouTube channel called Candace Corners. Not only that, follow her on social media, especially on TikTok. It's on Instagram too, right? You put it on both, right?
Everything I put on TikTok is mostly on Instagram. I kind of just started doing Instagram the same as TikTok because I realized people were coming from both, you know, ways.
Yeah. So definitely go over and follow her. If you're having a bad day and you click on her link, I'm telling you, that bad day is going out of the window, because her content is it's everything. And I'm not just saying that while she's here. I honestly love your content. And that's why I invited you to be on the show, because I felt you through your words. And that's one of the things we want to do here. It had to happen, to bring guests like yourself here to tell your it, or to tell what it is that you're doing, because that's the thing you just said. If God gave you that gift, you're not supposed to sit down on it. So if that it happened to you, it happened to you, but for you to share with someone else. So if you would like to book with your girl, you can go to my website at www.ericawilsonih2h.com. Again, www.ericawilsonih2h.com. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so, as well as the notification button to let you know every time we go live here at It Had to Happen. But do go over to Candace Waters' page. Her information should be going across the screen shortly. And support. Support is free, guys. Please do go over to her page and show her some love. I'm telling you, you will not be steered wrong. Her content is really everything. So, Queen, thank you so very much for accepting the invitation and blessing the people on today. You did it so gracefully. And not only that, you made it fun. You had the people laughing and engaged. So shouts out to you, Queen.
Thank you so
me.
I appreciate it.
So you're welcome. So is there anything that you have coming up? We have about a minute or so. Is there anything that you have coming up that you would like to tell the audience?
No, not yet. Nothing this year so far. So nothing, not yet. No.
Okay. Awesome. Well, guys, meet me back here on Monday at 5:30. We have our prayer broadcast every Monday at 5:30, an hour of power, with the most amazing Bishop Kenny Berry and the beautiful Satara J, as well as the baddest producer on this side of heaven, Miss Mischa Allen. And then on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, we offer guests to come on our show between the hours of on Tuesdays 6 to 8 and on Wednesdays 4:30. We would love to have you all. Candace, bring Candace back on. We like to always send some virtual hugs out to the guests since we can't do any hugging, and some virtual love because we love you so very much here at It Had to Happen. We can't do this without you. You guys rock, and we're forever grateful for each and every one of you. But before we go, really quick, can we get Candace to shout out our audience really quick? I just love the audience, Candace. So if you can, she's gonna put their comments, a couple of comments on the screen, and you could go ahead and read them and shout out the guests.
Oh, okay. Patrick sent a heart message. Thanks, Patrick. Ms. Mani said, "Great afternoon." Great afternoon to you too. You better speak, sister. Katima, I saw Katima the whole time. Katima's fun. She was laughing the whole time. Hi, Katima.
That's cousin.
Oh, okay, that's your cousin. Hi, cousin. Kimberly, I saw yours too. Hi, Kimberly.
That's yeah,
I saw them as they were speaking. Thank y'all so much for watching. I really appreciate it.
All right, guys. Until next time, be safe out there. Have the most amazing remainder of your week, because I know that I will. But be safe doing so. God bless each and every one of you. Until next time, bye-bye.
Erica's Empowering Empire. 88 Blessings Soar Movement. It had to happen in a beauty so rare. We'd love for you to join us by subscribing to our YouTube channel. It Had to Happen with Erica Wilson. Following our social media.